Niliingia Java nikachukua thao. Unajua ni kama nilijikoni, nilitoa kwa hii mfuko nikaeka kwa hii. Nikajua niko na thao 2.
I was one of the first employees of Kiss FM. When I started hiring a lot of presenters and stuff.
Shaffie moja alitupa mdem kutoka kwa ghorofa.
What are you saying?
Shaffie ndio jamaa alitupa mdem kutoka kwa 18th floor
discuss story ya mtu alikuwa ametupwa kwa ghorofa.
You know, when you're so short you can't hear the news
clearly. Alitupa.
Aya, mimi nadhani Shaffie alitupa overboard.
Hiyo ni nonsense. So how do you now move from there to this mammoth that became
Radio Africa?
Kiss.
Yeah, you need to.
The early 2000s maze. Unajua hakuna FM station ili kama Kiss.
From nowhere just
nakumbuka nikitune in, they used to play music, good music, the latest music, fresh hits.
But you know what? This is one of the things where I talk about. I tell guys is a God. Have you ever seen things, stars aligning to a point that it's not possible?
Yeah.
I was one of the first employees of Kiss FM.
So
I've been chasing that job for so long because someone had told me there's a guy coming from Uganda. He's coming to start a radio station in Kenya, blah blah blah. And I said the day the guy comes,
Uganda walikuwa na Sanyu FM. Unakumbuka Sanyu?
Yes.
Sanyu was
Sanyu, that Capital, and Capital is the one he was running at that time. And he said that he's coming to Kenya, and I'm like, the day the door opens for you.
Yeah.
Someone says, don't wait, don't go around knocking doors and then giving up because the door hasn't opened.
Yeah.
Just hang around the doors. One day, that door will open.
Yeah.
I kept hanging around saying, this guy is coming and he's coming to start this radio station or whatever it is. And eventually, I kept timing and getting myself ready. So I over-prepared for an interview. Kept getting ready. This is what I'll do. This is what I'll say. This is how I'm going to behave. Because I'd read everything about advertising, everything about media. I knew it to the T. And I'd refused to join an advertising agency. So I said, when this radio station starts, I'm going to be the king. The only good thing I had about my character is that I was overconfident. I'd already started seeing myself, what time I'll be going to work, what my salary will be, what my new accent will be, and stuff like that.
Those are the virtues that make a con man. You know what a con man is?
A con man?
Because a con is a confidence scam.
It's a scam. But life is a scam. Life is about,
true.
Before you con people in life, you need to first con yourself to believe what you're saying.
Believe in your own hype.
Once you believe
in niliingia Java, nikachukua thao. Unajua ni kama nilijikoni, nilitoa kwa hii mfuko nikaeka kwa hii. Nikajua niko na thao 2. Na nikaitisha food ya 1500.
No, that's just bad math. That's just bad math. That's bad math. That's a different disease. That one can be cured by something going to math class,
school,
and a math class.
Just school.
Yeah. So
this guy coming from UG who PQ.
Yeah, that's Patrick Wako. He's going to start a radio station.
PQ ni msewa UG?
No, he's Ghanaian, but he had been running big media businesses for a while in Uganda.
In Uganda.
And one thing we discovered is later on is the fact that everything he did or made happen was based on one of the most basic things in life, like good research. Not guesswork, not what you believe or not what you think, because what you believe or think is not the reality.
Yeah.
Everything Kwako did and ran in his business was based on learning about something, studying it, and therefore making decisions based on what he had studied. So we learned about research. In fact, in KISS, one of the most invested departments was the research department. They always spent time on research. And I learned that once you research on people and stuff like that, you get to know about how business should be done. Right? Now, this is where the disaster happens and where God comes in. See, I've been banging. I was supposed to have a meeting with a guy for I don't know how many weeks. So I told this pal of mine who was my plug. Those days there was a plug, but we didn't used to call them plugs. We called them just a close friend. Calls me. I'm in the middle of the discotheque.
Yeah, discotheque.
Nightclub. Place of debauchery. Yeah. At around, I'll say the time now without embarrassment, around 5:30 a.m. The guy calls me and tells me the guy...
On a weekday?
No, a weekend.
5:30
a.m. in a club.
Yeah.
And the guy calls me and tells me the guy who was meant to interview you is coming tomorrow, and your interview, you have been waiting for 7:30. You know, 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday. I told him where I've reached in my night. It's too late to recover.
Yeah.
I've moved from being a nice flower to a weed. Yes. I've become what they call in Kikuyu Badogobanya. So I decided, let me stay in the club till like 6:31 or 6:34. Then go home, shower, and then go straight for the interview. So that's exactly what I did. Now, I go to meet him at a hotel that used to be very famous in, I don't want to say the time we were growing up, but in that time, the Grand Regency. I walk into that hotel and I find the guy. I look well dressed, but you know when you're acting over sober?
No, you're
acting
you went
over
home.
sober. Okay, you're standing and doing this. Hi, everybody. How is your morning? You're like, my God, this is over normal. I was acting so over normal.
You're not having.
Yeah, now you look like a mad person because you're acting just over normal. You're trying to do normal things in a normal. Let me reach out and take that glass. Let me drink for you. Yeah. So now, no, there is no hangover. I'm not slept. Yeah. How did this guy used to read the Bible? Because you can't tell a story, you can't quote a story. So, yeah. So what happened is, the guy comes down, does the interview, and then starts asking me, hey, who are you? What do you want to do? I said, I'm one of the best advertisers ever.
Yeah.
The advantage I have is, of course, overconfidence. I told you the only gift I had was overconfidence. I overbelieved in myself. So I told him, I'm going to be the best creative. I'm going to be this, that. You see, but your experience here in your CV, your experience is not even in your CV. Let me correct myself. You just said your experience is very. So he had an idea. He had been told stories about me. He said, you've not worked here, that. Right? So it was not a CV he was using. And says, you do not have that experience. So how? How are you going to be the greatest in this? I said, because I put enough passion, enough time to be the best I am, and this and that and that. Luckily for me, Patrick Kwako had a lot of interviews he had there. He had a whole stack of guys he was going to interview. And I saw a name on the top. I started saying, you're going to interview Nani? Yeah. I hope they don't snatch a job from me. And I told him, that's his guy. That's a nice thing. This guy does this. He said, oh, you know this person? Yeah. When he lifted it, I saw the person underneath. I'm like, also Nani. Then he's like, you also know this person? Yeah. What do you think about them? Do you think there's somebody we can work with?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Polish Kwako is there talking to me. And me, I'm speaking back like I'm also Ghanaian. I think this guy can be an amazing asset for the business. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. So, at that time, the only thing I did do, I didn't do, is take down people. If you want to switch someone off, start telling him how someone is bad at their job. Just talk about the things you know about that person, but don't spend time malizing guys.
Yeah.
So I never maliza them. He kept asking me. Then he asked me, he stopped at one point and asked me, why do you know everyone? I said, boss, me, I'm out of the house the whole time. I'm an extrovert and I go out a lot. And I know people and I meet a lot of people. Said, you serious? Yeah. He said, I find that interesting. That means, he said, you do a lot of research. It might be useful to me.
Okay.
Right? Then I told him, so we went on, and then I told him, anyway, I'm sorry for coming a bit high for the interview, but I hope it went well. I told him, now, in fact, tomorrow I've got more. Maybe you can come and see the rest of the other CVs I have and give me stories about those guys.
Yeah.
But don't stick too much.
Okay.
What they call say.
So that's where that analogy comes from in terms of you hired Caroline Mutoko, you hired.
No, and therefore, yes. But not Caroline. I'm scared of Caroline, but don't say to me.
No, I know. Of course, you didn't.
Sasa kwa interview.
You didn't hire.
Anaingiaje mpaka kuhire?
I get where that analogy comes from in terms
the analogy comes out of I helped a lot of people get their jobs. I was supporting certain people. Certain people I didn't speak much of because I didn't think they were qualified. Not qualified in terms of their personality. One of the most moving things about the end of that interview is I told you, hey, so what about my CV? Do you want to talk about that and go through that? He said, I don't hire papers. I hire people.
Fantastic.
And that became my principle in life. I will never judge someone by how they look, what they are. You don't know their story until you get to know them. And a paper is not going to tell you who that person is. That's why there are so many people hired in this country who can have CVs, but when they speak English, it sounds like Egyptian.
But kuna job
Yeah.
zingine you have to hire according to merit, man.
But when you say merit, what is the real merit?
Siwezi toka tu kwa kichaka ati nataka kuwa
No, I'm not saying
accountant.
that. That is not what I'm saying.
And then you just hire me ati
No,
nataka
no,
tu. Sijui kufanya, maybe Keith ajui kufanya hesabu.
No, I mean it's debatable. Look at the country we're living in now. You're seeing what's happening in Parliament. The committees that are vetting the ambassadors that have been shortlisted. You saw the, for lack of a better word, cloud that had been shortlisted to go to DRC, and not even articulate what.
You say a petrol station.
Yeah, and that's exactly my problem.
You say what pump. I think,
but sometimes that's caused by hiring papers.
So it begs the question: what is the merit for hiring an ambassador?
Yeah.
As a government, and you want to shortlist ambassadors.
You know, Roy,
what's the merit?
I've said the merit is hire people, and hire people who understand, look at people, research on people, and know what the people want. Not who decide what the people want based on some theory they've studied in school. I know a lot of schools that even teach like media.
Yeah.
But you look at the teachers, you feel sorry because this guy is giving them all sorts of theories. But in the reality, that's not what works. Because you're going to want to know someone in a real situation when they're in down at the bottom, when it's real panic mode. It's when you're going to see someone and how do you become creative? How do you rework, or how do you sort out a situation? For example, there's a difference between the word intelligent and clever. Right?
Yeah.
Clever is someone who is in boarding school, studying a lot of things to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Intelligent is someone who's making a decision as a doctor on what to do about a situation. The aim is to look for intelligent people. So we all know where not to start. At the bottom. But
you're taking too many jabs at Kibobi, man.
No, okay.
Man.
No, but look, the same conversation.
But good level.
Same conversation. And even when I call him a clown, it's only because the media has portrayed him as a clown.
Who?
This guy was nominated to be ambassador to
the petrol station attendant guy.
Don't show
I mean, he's not a petrol station attendant. He's a successful businessman.
And he knows something that you don't know.
Fantastic business acumen.
You know, businessman has been overused.
No, he has.
You know something you don't.
He has made money from doing business. And that particular office, that posting to DRC, requires somebody who understands how to tie business relations between DRC and our country, because there's a lot of virgin extracts we can get from there in terms of
something. Some of okay, you know another funny thing. Now, now let me tell you something.
So nataka kupeleka professor mwenye understand GDP ya DRC ndio nini happen.
No, you need someone who's real. And you know, let me tell you something, Keith. I had about 14 workers. I was a very bit of a big bully as a boss.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, out of about 13, 14 people I worked with over different periods of time, right? Who worked directly on me. First of all, I became the talent scout for presenters. Kina Cesar and what are close to me. Kina Shaffie. I found discovered a lot of
Shaffie, the one and only.
Shaffie Weru I hired Shaffie.
What?
Yes. But let me tell you this. That's my point. When I started hiring a lot of presenters and stuff.
Shaffie moja alitupa mdem kutoka kwa ghorofa.
What are you saying?
Shaffie ndio huyu jamaa alitupa mdem kutoka kwa 18th floor akaanza 16th.
Discuss story ya mtu alikuwa ametupwa kwa ghorofa.
You know, when you're so short you can't hear the news
clearly. Alitupa.
Aya, mimi nadhani Shaffie alitupa overboard.
Hiyo ni nonsense.
No. What do we do about this? You know, mosquitoes you can use insecticide. This one, how do you kill it?
Let's move.
So, I'm saying, I discovered people like Shaffie. Is Shaffie not instrumental in terms of someone who's recognized and known as an icon, right?
Actually,
and there are a lot of people.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people who are on that same level where they are known in terms of we worked with them, and I at least I helped or was part of getting them. And I found out, and why I was given that whole responsibility of helping recruit and get talent was because I learned that skill from what Kwakwad showed me when he employed me. And the fact that some of the best things and the best gems are not built out of those papers. They are built out of the people you're going to meet. So in an interview, spend more time talking to the person about what kind of person they are. Not what school have you studied, what have you achieved. You can't spend so much time only on that. That's already in the papers. That has already cut out a lot of people. You've already chosen a few. After that, it becomes bigger than that. It becomes bigger than what they have done. It becomes who they are. And the people who worked out under me, about 14, 15 people, about 10 to 11 own their own companies now. And they tell me, you know what? Everyone says you're a punk, but I worked under you and you pushed me because you believed in me. Anyone who I lost belief in, I let them do what they want to do. So if you find me agreeing with you, yeah, like they agree with you, Bobby. Yeah? So I always agree with you.
You always do, man.
That means I don't believe in you. Right?
What the fuck?
Because
That was a
I have
question.
given up.
That was a trick question.
I've given up. But when I keep correcting you, it's because it's something to correct.
Yeah.
Something to build on. Yeah? And that's where the whole success came out. And let me use that as an example. There's a group we went to discover. You know, once Kwako gave us a task.
Yes.
A huge task when we were starting the radio station. He told us we need to develop our own local stars. Right? So he sent me and Shaffie, my wing side wing. Inaitwa nini?
Sidekick. Shotgun.
Shotgun, do shotgun. But okay, tall gun. Whatever it was, yeah? I went out with Shaffie and we were tasked to develop Kenyan music. Because in Uganda, where Patrick was leading, they played local music. But in Kenya, we were not playing local music.
Yeah, I think Uganda even had it in their laws from a long time ago.
Yeah.
In terms of what do they call it, a quota.
Lakini UG
How much
local
local music you must play.
music ya UG kwa Chameleon alikam Kenya.
No, I mean as long as it has been made by Ugandan, it's Ugandan music.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so
I think UG for a long time had that system of a quota in terms of how much local content must be played.
Kisi kaanza kucheza local content.
Now, let me tell you how kids started playing local content. We were given a mission with Shaffie. Yeah. And you know, as a responsible boss, when I was given the project and told, you know what, we need to find good local music that we can support and build. As a responsible boss, I turned to Shaffie as my support system and told him, if you don't get the music, I'll fire you. Yeah. Yeah. And to that, as a responsible person, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
A little bit of fear in Africa just generates motivation.
It does.
And inspiration to do something.
Yeah.
Shaffie tells me he knows these guys in a place called Gudera Lane. Gudera Lane in South B. And he says he's going to take me to where we can find good music. At that time, he's sweaty. Shaffie is sweaty. Because I told him that one. I said, yeah, we'll have to. He talked. Then told the firing thing, I'm serious. I'll fire you if you don't get this job done. Yeah. Because, or at least blame you at the most minimum. Shaffie was, as I told you, a very ingenious character. Takes me to South B.
And he was a technical guy. Alikuwa kwa mitambo huko.
No. Technical wapi, sijifundisha hizo vitu, hata stima hakujua. Now, at that time, we go to South B. We meet a guy called Luke. Okay, like I check his name, Lucas. They don't know which Lucas. And I'm told this is a guy called Ogopa Deejays.
Ogopa Deejays.
So, we go to this. I've ever gone to not the Savaskota of the Savaskota of the Savaskota. You know those jigs usually nakani nyuma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extension iko nyuma ya SQ.
The extreme extension.
Yeah.
Yes. And we find this really small place, really tiny studio. It's as good as a servant's quarter. I'm telling you guys, it's not big. It's the size of this room. It's just as big as him. The room. Right? And we look at this space. like this. Yeah?
Yeah.
This land, this piece of land. This place.
Real estate.
This property. We look at this property.
Akona an eighth kama zile mashamba zinauza
nguo. Mwenyewe ni kubwa, unalipa stima. So, we find this place and we walk in and we find a lot of talented people there. Now, there are these people all over the place. And Lucas has got these guys ready and starts telling us who they are and what they're doing and starts playing fast music that they're doing. Plays, I said, that's Nameless. I said, Nameless I knew. Because Kamonski used to be in main campus when my dad was lecturing at the main campus.
I think
so. Yes. So whenever there was a riot, Kamonski
alikuwa anakuja mtaa.
He could end up in the digs. So Nameless, I knew Nameless because of Strathmore and because of the fact that we were around the hood. And Nameless was sharp as no one's business. Very clever human.
What did he do? Architecture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very sharp guy.
Nameless
So
tulikuwa naye kwa gym. Unaona he still
you see
wears
now
it.
he's gone to the gym. That's it's like saying najua huyu jamaa was as clever as each other kwa sababu we shared a matatu together. That's just
No, Nameless tulikuwa naye kwa gym. Amevaa durag. Unajua Nameless ako na kipara msee. Durag ilianguka. Dreads zimeanzia huko. Mpaka kaniangalia akasema ni mimi msee. Sinipige picha. Tell him to ditch the durag, man. Yeah, na red sun. Ishakwa, it's too late. Just let it go.
But you know, Monski is my friend.
Monski.
I've done so much
work with Monski. He's the most professional and talented human.
For laughing
Yeah,
at
he
that.
is.
And now
I remember my
I'm not getting
rider.
that laughter
I'm not.
coming from
I'm
Kenya,
so
Kenya
sorry.
International School of Poverty.
I'm so
I'm not
sorry
going-
that
I'm not- I
I've
don't-
laughed at that nonsense. I feel so bad.
Lakini mbona the dude is like
sawa.
50, mbona
Sawa.
anavaa durag?
Sawa. Let me tell
Nani
you.
huvaa
Wait,
durag?
Roger.
Yeah.
You know this school called CISP?
No.
The school of okay, let me not even talk about it.
I've already seen it in my head.
School of Independent School of Poverty, yeah? The CISP. Yeah. So
So what has
wait,
poverty?
so therefore, no, you're just jealous of Nameless.
No, poverty inaingilia wapi na durag?
Let's move on.
How
So
do you help this guy? So now,
you're
now,
Ogopa.
so I'm at Ogopa Deejays.
Yeah.
Right? And they're different. So I meet a guy called Nameless. As I told you, intelligent guy, mind blowing. He's producing amazing music there. I meet a kid called Isa. Right?
May his
My goodness.
soul rest in peace.
My goodness, this guy is spitting bars beyond natural. He's not making any effort. I made a group called Tatuu. Ladies, good voices, clean, fresh, innocent.
You dated one of them.
The three chillers.
Let's move on in
And
life.
Shaffie also dated one of them.
Why are we talking about dating? Let's just move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
By the way,
I was
ngoma
at
yao,
first go-
unakumbuka ile ngoma yao ile ya Mateso?
Just let's move on. Why are we
I
talking
can
about
hear, man.
Nina ng'ombe. You know that video, nina ng'ombe wangu wakidume but it was a cow. Haikuwa dume. Kwa video kuna cow ile ya kukamuliwa.
like this one?
Nani aliedit hiyo video? Macmos. Maulu aletea ng'ombe ya maziwa.
What are we working with here?
My God.
What are we working with?
We've lost the plot.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Anyway, so what ends up happening is we meet Nameless, as I've said. We meet Tatuu. We meet this kid called Isa. And one of the most amazing parts is I meet a group called Kleptomaniacs.
Klepto.
Now, that's when we met them, and now we're going through their music, and we're like, hey man, Ogopa's doing mind-blowing stuff. At that point, I meet their managers, Kina Band and Kina Frank.
Yeah.
And they agree on a deal with us guys to, I don't want to say exclusively right now I can say exclusively, deal or develop their music or showcase their music on a radio station. They'll give us first right of refusal. In other words, when a song is released, we're the ones who get it first.
Then
They give us also another opportunity. We help them decide which songs should go on the station. So we'd sit there and say, no, this one has this problem, this one has this and that. And we end up choosing music. And that's when I started insisting, let's go with Boomba Train first before we go with Mos. Right? And we try to go back and forth. And sometimes you have to remove the artists out of that because, some of these are very personal projects to those artists.
Yeah.
It's very rude to see the guy, someone's debating about work you put in
Yeah.
for years, and they want to make some 2-second decision. But what I learned when I met a group called Kleptomaniacs at Droba, they had a guy called Kolo, and they had a guy called
Nyashinsky.
Right?
Kolo was a short guy, ama.
Look who's calling me. How can you tell?
Your height mate.
How would you know? How can you tell they're short? We are just seeing eye to eye.
Guy used to wear konyas akiingia kwa club. Amevaa njumu akayemsi mtole.
Okay, might see. See?
Yeah, you can look at him eye to eye.
Yeah. You're hitting him below the belt. Now the belt is over. I don't know how you can even do it. Anyway, so Kolo could write. My goodness, Kolo had natural skills. In terms of writing, there are guys who, whenever you meet certain artists, the artists who it just flows freely, just like Isa.
Yeah.
And Kolo could write like no one's business. Nyashinsky was different. Nyashinsky could write and not be happy with what is written and crumple it and throw it away. At that time, a lot of people might take it for weakness. Was he never happy
with his content?
I honestly, at that time, told Lucas, I know a talented person when I see one. This guy is writing good raps, and sometimes he's not happy with them and crumpling them, throwing them away. Because he's seeking the perfection he knows he's capable of. Completely driven, dead on point with what he's good at. And that's when I honestly said, this guy is going to be, one day, usiseme sasa najifanya kusema ukweli, that time we believe. We're still close to Nyashinski now. Ask him. Tell him how much belief I had in him from that period. And from that period, we went on to do other things. Yeah? Like, let me tell you. Right? Amazing projects. We went to do a project. I did so many projects with Kina Nyash, with Kina Ogopa guys. We did concerts. We did a concert for when Issa died. It's the largest in terms of crowd. It was the largest crowd ever.
Which year was this?
For local concerts. When Issa passed away.
2003 is when Issa died.
Yeah, he died.
During Easter.
Yeah, don't shout about my age. You just calm down. So, at that time, we did a concert. Tumefika.
Yeah.
Where we had to recognize, and we even gave the money back to Ogopa as a radio station.
Yeah.
I pushed the concert. I told them, guys, this is going to be the biggest
concert was at Kani.
Yes, at Carnival.
Yeah,
at that time, the price of the ticket was only 300 bob and 500 bob VIP, which to guys today, they are laughing whether they can buy a lollipop with that. But I'm telling you, at that time, you could buy
it was a lot
of money. You can buy integrity.
Yeah, you know, that was around the same time we had the Beats of the Season.
Yeah, yes. Beats of the Season.
I think the season ticket for Beats of the Season was 1,000 bob.
Yeah. That was the last time. That was the last time.
Maxi Priest came. Actually, yes. Maxi Priest for Beats of the Season.
Yes, that was the last time we had a Kenyan crowd paying premium price tickets.
Yeah.
Because there was an equivalent of a guy paying 5,000, 10,000 bob to watch a local act when guys were paying tribute to Issa.
Yeah.
We did a concert that was mind-blowing. And that was the last time Kenyan music was that big, where people, you could look at Kenyans and say they love their music. So after that, now today we have something called Urban. And that is another opportunity. And we'll need to use that opportunity. Yeah. When you have those opportunities to rebuild yourself and start loving yourselves again, never waste them and don't laugh at them. Build them. And that's when I even met Kina TAD because he started doing projects with Tanzania.
Lucas had an ear for Tanzania.
Yeah.
And
Akina JMO, what was that?
With Professor J.
Professor J.
Even
JMO.
Diamond, but I did an album launch for Diamond here in Nairobi. A boy from Tandale. We did it at the museum. And in his story, he did it like a play.
Diamond
himself.
Mtu wa Morogoro?
No, Tandale.
Oh,
it's from Tandale.
Now look at this guy.
So when he launched his album, A Boy from Tandale, he launched it here in Nairobi not at the museum, sorry, Kenya National Theatre. And he did the production like a play.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. At that time, one of the things that has changed is the fact that artists do things for commercial value, right?
Yeah.
They're chasing what you call the bag.
The bag, the bag.
Yeah. They're chasing the bag.
Yeah.
In your baglet for size yako. But they're chasing the bag, right? At that time, before you chase money, first chase passion in building what you are, because then the money will follow you. Now,
but you believe that stuff?
Yes, because I worked with it. Let me tell you, I've just told you, I've worked with Nyash, and I could see it happen.
Yeah,
I could see it happen. I was guaranteed. I'm telling guys, guaranteed. Nameless and Wahoo are not defaults. It's work.
Yeah, it is.
I worked with those guys. Guys, these things are all based on work. We worked with Issa. Unfortunately, it happened the way it did because at that time things were so tough. There was nothing about flying for a concert. You had to go by road. So we used to go to.
This guy alishutiwa akiwa kwa mathiri. Alikuwa corrupt.
Yes.
Alishutiwa akiwa kwa mathiri.
Now corrupt, and all these guys we used to take them. Yes, we used to take them by mat for concerts. Us guys were agents at that time.
Yeah.
I reached a point where I'd become the agent of these Ogopa guys, to the point that even the guys of Calif were not talking to me. In fact, Shaffie went once to help me negotiate. The fact that we're not playing...
to 2NK kwenda Nakuru.
We're going...
I remember
kuna 2NK kwa.
Kulikuwa kitu. Mathiri pale Tiru.
Yeah. And that was to happen. We'd go with... Shaffie took us to Calif to sit down and negotiate with Kina Clemo. At that time, I was producing Kina Juakali and Nonini. And we were complaining about how their music is not the right quality or shouldn't be played on keys and what. And they were saying, you guys, it's full madrao. At some point, they were right. There was a little bit of madrao. But the point was there are a lot of things that they had to change their music. One of the things I admire about Nonini is the fact that, and Juakali, what I admired about him was his humility. He came and asked genuinely, please support me. If it's about the fact that you have a problem with my music, I'll improve it with your support. The same way Ugandans support weak artists and they improve, right? Nonini came with a different attitude. He was like, if you don't respect my music, I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But the advantage of that is because he believed in his music.
Yeah, that's
Then he worked, but the difference is he might stand like that and show attitude, but he went behind and worked on his music.
his craft.
And he came back and were like, we had no reason not to play Calif's music.
Yeah.
Because by the time Shaffie had taken me for that meeting, you know, they go to a place called Mpambe.
Mpambe, the pilau joint.
Yes. Me, I went there, we were being served there on a wheel cup. A wheel cup. That was a wheel cup. We were being served on a wheel cup.
Everybody's just throwing their hands in there.
I was wondering where guys are eating from. I'm like, my goodness. You know me, I thought that thing I'm supposed to serve from it. Also, that's your food. I'm like, my God, I'm eating food on a wheel cup. All that food by myself. I could not believe it. But I'll say this. We did amazing projects. We did amazing projects to the point that at one point, because artists are working with passion, then you get to do projects you enjoy, which means you tend to be more creative and it gets wilder and wilder and wilder. And I had this amazing idea that what we do at that point is, because you know we used to be in the days of CDs. If you tell young people right now CDs is only one thing, condoms, something you're allergic to. But at that time,
he's a Catholic.
He's
a Catholic. It's not allowed.
I'm a Catholic, man.
Yeah. We're not allowed to use contraceptives.
Forget about which church you go to.
Yeah.
Me, I go to the Church of God.
Finger of God.
No. Yeah, I'll tell you a story about
Finger of God. There's a story about Finger of God.
I'll tell you about. You know me, I was involved in Finger of God. As guys are the guys who took
it down. The one for Kina Helen.
Yeah, we took it down with DNG. Maybe nigga bottom. This guys are not church. We did it with DNG and Shaffie. That's, you know what? You know how we took down that church?
Yeah.
Because we were jealous that our chicks were in it. Sort of jealousy was the motivation.
And guess what? Helen was pulling his chicks.
Because our girlfriends were going and staying there.
Helen, the saxophonist, the guy who plays
the saxophonist.
That sucks. I see him on TikTok.
Yeah, that guy. Our girlfriends used to go.
The guy with the suits, the toy suits.
Our girlfriends.
Wait.
Roger. Our girlfriends, with Shaff, used to go and sleep and they're praying.
Kesha.
So kuja Kesha forever. Yeah. Kuja Kesha. Kesha means Kesho. Kesho. So they come the next day, they've been praying with the pastor and whatever it is. And one day we got really frustrated. Then one day DNG told us, hey, that church stinks. Yeah? And that smell doesn't smell like God. Then
it smells like the finger of God.
You're like, hey, the smell of that finger was a bit wrong. And so what happened is we came and found DNG there telling us, you guys, this is Toro.
DNG,
yeah, me and Shaffie sat there, we looked at it, we were like, what? We were like God's gift. We were like, this is the one chance we have to blow it up. You know, there was no social media. So we just said, all of us on our shows, it's for finishing that church.
Yeah.
We finished that church like no one's business. We worked with DNG, a very brown person, which is very hard to work with. One of the hardest working brown people. I've never seen a brown person work that hard.
I've not seen anybody work as hard as DNG.
DNG, for a brown person,
he works hard.
As opposed to the reality. Yeah. It was amazing. Anyway, the fact is, one of the greatest projects, as I said, is you work through passion, right?
Yeah.
And for me, what was amazing about Ogopa, and later on also I learned about Kina the Genge Girls, is everything that was done in music at that time was done first because of passion for what you're doing. Not you're an artist because you think you're going to make money. It's not about that first. It's about what you believe in. That's why the songs were about things they believed in. So there was no songs about, man, I'll be the gangster, I'll be knocking up boots, I'll be rolling up with girls, and your mother calls and you have to buy milk. You're like, Mom, I'm coming.
You know, there's a saying that goes,
at that point, we even did projects that were risky, ideas that were crazy. We even did a project where we made a CD for a bank. said we'll distribute this CD across Matatus. And it was a youth account, business. So we said, okay, we'll distribute. The client was blown away by the idea. They're like, what? You're going to make CDs of music and you're going to put a rap lyric that are done with kleptomaniacs, and then we'll mix it to the other different
the
tracks.
Ogopa album.
Yeah. We mix with many tracks. And then we put it as a mixed CD in Matatus. So we distribute it. So clients like, what? On social media, so distribution ni wewe na miguu zako. That's how you distribute.
You know, I used to be a musician. Huh? I was a rapper. I didn't tell you that.
You're rapping paper, maybe.
No, nilikuwa naitwa MC Shaffie.
Because you're the same size.
No, it's a real story.
No, it's a real story.
Okay. It's a real story.
Yeah.
This guy battled at F2.
F2 Capital. What was this thing on Thursdays? Rap battle.
How Monski became Nameless.
Yeah, and let me tell you something.
Mega Rider.
We used to go for jam session.
Yeah, I used to go there. Do you know kwa nini rap career yangu ilisha? Tumeenda F2.
I know it.
No, tumeenda F2. Actually, tumeenda F2 na rap. Unajua, na drop bars. I had this Tanzanian guy anaitwa Jangili. So tulikuwa Jangili na Siafu. So nime drop bars. Wasi wameshangilia. You know, when you drop bars and guys are happy about it, they used to come and just give you money. Put money in your pockets. Hey, so you're
a call girl.
No, as in, that is how we used to operate.
Call boy, malaya.
No, sasa una chapa ya. Sasa, si unakuja unaekewa pesa kwa mfuko. Nikaekewa do mob. Hiyo siku nikaekewa chapa mob. Nikasema, hata sita ihesabia hapa.
Okay.
Na ihesabia kwa choo.
Sawa.
Kwenda kwa choo, nimeekewa tu bottle tops, tissues, zile condoms za government of Kenya, na 30 shillings. That's how man nikasema this shit doesn't pay. Let me just say about it.
But let me tell you, at our point we were working on music is the time that it started paying. Because Kenyans loved Kenyan music and it was working. Genge was real Genge because it had a different form of music, and Ogopa was Ogopa because it was a different form of music. And the advantage was this. The camps worked together. And I keep telling guys today, the difference between success and failure is based on collaboration. You cannot be successful if you're not willing to consider working with someone on a project.
Yeah.
Why we struggle in this country is because we're selfish. We don't consider how can we work together to succeed. When you see someone with a good idea, instead of thinking, how can I join his idea? I'm thinking of how can I finish it?
You start.
I spend so much time thinking of destroying something instead of building it. I reached a point at that time, we were doing a project, that time we made that CD. That CD had about 20, 30, 40 artists, right?
Which CD was this? The Ogopa thing.
It was a CD it was a mixed CD we made for this bank to sell their youth account.
The youth account must have been by cop or something.
Why do you have to search out?
So it's obvious.
It was
at that time. It was
called
Young. I remember
Young Entrepreneur.
And then it was ile sauti ya Kingongo. Exclamation mark.
Yes.
Ya Kingongo. Kiswahili sauti ya Kingongo.
It was called Young Entrepreneurs.
I remember with cop
account.
And they wanted you to open an account.
Now what we did is we made a rap called Kleptomaniacs. And mixed it with music from different parts of different artists. My friend, I was sued, but you know why? Because when I lost it, yes, I went and gave the client the sample. Client alikuwa amefurahi sana. She got overexcited. They went back to their office. They made copies.
Release
kwa Matatu. Mimi sikujua imefika kwa Matatu. Artist started calling me. I was like, hey, this artist is calling me as a gig. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give you another gig. I'm like, no, bro, why is my music playing in the Matatu? You know in your heart beats. You know that one where your heart beats like you've left your phone at home? Yeah? Yeah. With certain people. And your heart just starts beating.
Yeah.
I get a call from another artist. Another one. I called the agency and what happened?
How many songs were in that?
Like 30 days. I was sued by both 30, 40 artists. Wait, what? They started coming to the office. Kids. I ran downstairs, warned my boss that this thing has gone south.
Yeah.
Imeanza kutrend.
At that time, see, there was no social media.
Whatever trending was
in a trend kwa 3.
Yeah, but imagine, that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine the social media then? Guys are coming to sue you like no one's business. Yeah? This session imejaa kama bus station in India. At that point, I'm hiding. I'm being hidden by Kida Shaffie. Shaffie is thin, he can't hide me. Yeah. I'm going to have to share the lawsuit. My boss listen the story. Let me start naming people who sued me. The first one, the ones who are the worst, people from the church. Those are the worst people. These are my rough tone, any tone.
Oh, those gospel musicians as well.
The gospel musicians.
Do not play around with gospel artists' money. That day you will see, oh my Lord, that's the day you see real God. Yeah. The wrath of God will come down on you. Then Jaguar kept bringing the lawyer Parker. I'm like, we became even cousins with the lawyer. We're meeting so many times. We're high-fiving when we're meeting.
Jaguar alikuwa Ogopa?
No, Jaguar alikuwa just one artist on the CD. Jaguar sued me. Then the song he sued me for is the one I hate. That's the worst part. That's what's hurting me. Because I like another song of his. I'm like, why do you play this bogus song and now I'm listening for it? Then another artist, Abraham came. Do you know what I loved? All the guys from Ogopa pulled off. Apart from Redson.
Everyone else didn't sue.
They started pulling off one by one.
Except
Nameless said, everyone else was like, nah, you've done so much to build us.
Yeah.
Why are we taking you down? Guys, I'm telling us, our biggest disease right now is going to be the fact that we can't work together. Right? And support the less fortunate. So, Bobby, we need to help you.